Welcome back to video 3 in my programming fundamentals series. In this video I'm going to actually be discussing basic math. But really fast, there's some stuff that I actually failed to mention to you earlier, and I apologize for that. I should not be going over this stuff in this video since we're already in video 3. But something that I failed to mention was, in order to print something out, you actually do have to put the text between two quotation marks, like so. And then whatever you can put in here will actually be printed out, as you've seen a million times before. Another thing I'd like to mention is, let's say you wanted to actually print something out, have a blank line, and then print something else out. Well, that's pretty simple too. All you can do is, let's say we have this, and then you just do the same thing, the same println, because remember, println will move the cursor to the next line. But if we don't print anything out, or if you don't put anything between two quotation marks between the two parentheses, it won't print anything out. It'll just move the cursor to the next line. It's what's known as an empty string. So as you can see, we actually get a nice blank line. Just to make that a little bit more clear, let's do this again. And this will be useful for some stuff later on whenever I ask you to do some pretty potentially tricky stuff with like drawing various, triangles with asterisks and stuff and getting things to position correctly. But as you can see, we get a nice little beautiful blank line. Alright, enough of that. Let's get back to the main point of this tutorial, which was basic math. Now, Java and most programming languages have basic math operations built in. Let's say we wanted to do, the most basic one, let's just do addition. And addition, just like you do on paper, uses addition sign. So let's say we do 4 plus 4. Now, notice that I don't put these numbers between quotation marks, and that's just simply because we're just wanting to print out a number, which can be an integer, a floating point number, a double precision floating point number, and we'll get into that stuff later too. But since we're just returning just a simple numeric value that we can perform math on, you don't have to put them in quotation marks. We can just simply add them together like so, like doing 4 plus 4, and then print it out. As you can see, we have 8, as you would expect with 4 plus 4. Let's do the next obvious math operation. Let's put a blank line in between just to clean things up a bit. Let's do 4 minus 4. And as you would expect with 4 minus 4, we actually get 0. So now we have 8, now we have 0. Those are fairly basic. Let's copy all this again. Let's do multiplication. Now multiplication we actually have to use an asterisk. We don't have a times symbol, so we use an asterisk, which is pretty close. And we actually get what you'd expect 4 times 4 to be 16. Alright, let's do division. 4 divided by 4, which as you would expect would be, and for division you actually use the /. Should have mentioned that. It's getting late and I'm getting tired. But we do 4 divided by 4 and we get 1. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. Let's say we do 4 divided by 3. Now normally you'd expect to get some number with some decimal place value, or what's known as a floating point portion. But instead we actually get 1. Why do we get just 1? I don't understand. Well, I do actually understand, and that's because we're doing integer division. And integer division, which is 4, which doesn't have any floating point value, it's not a 4.0, it's not a 4.1, which is 4, and same goes for 3. Integer divided by an integer gives you back an integer, and this actually does turn out to be fairly useful. We'll probably explore that, and technically it is correct because we're just simply doing integer division. It's just not normally what you would get on your standard calculator. But let's say we did actually want to get back some a floating point precision on that. We would actually have to make at least one number a floating point number, and we can do that by simply doing 4.0f. And since one number is a floating point number, and notice the f, that is important to get floating point precision, we actually get 1.33334. Now let's say we didn't use the f. Let's say we just did 4.0. You actually notice that we get 1.33333. And that's because we're actually getting more precision. We're actually getting what's referred to as a double, which will make a little bit more sense later on. Basically, we're getting double point floating precision, which uses more memory to do. But those are the basic differences between those two. Hopefully that wasn't too fast or confusing. The next thing I think would be good to discuss, and also something very, very useful and will be used a lot, is something known as mod. And mod uses the percent sign. And what does mod do? Well, mod is it will work correctly only using, at least to my knowledge, only using integers, meaning no floating point numbers, meaning not something like this. And what mod does is it actually returns the remainder. So if you do 4 divided by 3, integer division gives you 1, but there's also a remainder of 1, so again we're going to get back 1. And this is very useful for various operations, and this will definitely come up if you program for a decent amount of time. And I think what I'm going to discuss next is, well, I think the best thing to discuss next would be order of operations. Order of operations applies the same way it applies in the real world. Multiplication, it's PINDOES. So an example would be, let's just do like 4 times 3 plus 4 times 3, which is 12, which we'll do. So what'll happen is we'll get 4 times 3, and we'll do 4 times 3, which is 12 and 12, add those two together, and we'll get 24. Well, let's say we did something like, oh, I don't know, 4 times 3, which is 12, and we did, actually let's do 4 plus 3 times 3, and this will give us 21. But if we were to change it, oh, I don't know, let's say we remove the parentheses, we would get what? We would get 13, because this actually occurs first before this, so it's a little bit different, and it's just, but it's normal. It shouldn't be anything too new. And that's pretty much that. I think that's all I'm going to talk about for this video, and I want to thank you for watching and hope you have a wonderful day.